2020. We're celebrating 100 years of women finally having the right to vote. If I had been around in 1920, I would have been wildly optimistic about the future. Exactly like I was 10 years ago when I was elected. I would have thought 100 years of women voting would surely have given us the time to organize, to educate, to elevate women to the point that we would easily have gained parity in elected office, and probably even surpassed that within 100 years. And yet, we are very far from that reality.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yes, we should be absolutely celebrating our historic victory, having our first female governor and first Latina as our Secretary of State. Many of us worked incredibly hard to make that happen. But we know constitutionally the real power in Rhode Island is in the General Assembly, specifically in the speakership, where we have never, ever had a woman. In fact, women barely hold on to 25 to 30% of rank and file seats in the General Assembly, without one of us being in the top leadership positions in the state House or state Senate currently. 100 years later, and that is our reality.
Time to change.
Time to change. Like you, I'm vacillating between rage and optimism when I think of all that has not been done and all that needs to be done. 2+ years into the Me Too movement, how is it that so little has changed? We publicly shared our darkest histories, our worst realities, and all that truth-telling and honesty has not done a damn thing to improve our workplaces or the public spheres in which we operate.
Time for change!
Time for change! My privileged position as a lawmaker did not protect me from being sexually harassed, and it has not helped me protect you or your family from facing workplace violence or discrimination. Though it should be shocking, it is sadly not surprising that the All Boys Club has failed to pass one single law to make women and all the protected classes safer from harassment and discrimination. 2 years into the Me Too era, Rhode Island's all-male leaders have failed us in the General Assembly. Just this week, the Speaker was asked what he thought about the proposal to use campaign funds to pay for childcare during a campaign. He actually looked annoyed and proclaimed that this was going to open things up to abuse, that allowing this would be a slippery slope. His words, a slippery slope. Abuse? Meanwhile, he is currently using his campaign funds to buy cigars, steaks, booze, so he can hobnob with the bigwigs. But he fears the corruptive liberty of reimbursing child care? I think what he really fears is more women in our ranks. A new world order where women reps dare to ask for such frivolous things as ending the abuse of non-disclosure agreements and the silence they afford men to abuse over and over again. I am willing to bet he fears us demanding we update our decades-old laws that currently prevent women from suing their abusers as individuals, rather than just the corporations that harbor and protect them. And he should absolutely fear more women holding office and forcing Rhode Island to hold elected officials who harass women accountable, because right now, those men in office are exempt from prosecution in our state. Funny how inaction and the status quo protect men and leave the rest of us vulnerable, and how easy it is for them to do nothing when they hold all the cards. Feeling all that rage build up? Me to action. Sharing our stories, finding solidarity, supporting candidates who will change the face of power to look more like you and like me. It's time to be bold, maybe even a little audacious, to tell your story, because sadly, it is not unique to other women and other marginalized people. It is only unique to those who really control the power in this state and in this country. The men in power need to be surrounded by truth tellers, not yes men.
Yes!
We need our colleagues to be like you, like your neighbors.
Yes.
No offense to all the straight white male lawyers out there, but we have more than enough of you in there already. We need the voices of more single moms, of immigrants, of people of color, people who have struggled, been discriminated against, been abused, been harassed, been raped, and lived to tell the story of their survival. We will no longer be silent. And we will elevate the voices of our brothers and sisters so that we can change the face of power. Thank you.